Part 2, Maha Parinibbana Sutta. Last Days of the Buddha. Part 2, The Journey to Vaisali. The Four Noble Truths. Now the Blessed One spoke to the Venerable Ananda, saying, "Come, Ananda, let us go to Kotigama." "So be it, Lord." And the Blessed One took up his abode at Kotigama together with a large community of bhikkhus. And the Blessed One addressed the bhikkhus, saying, "Bhikkhus, it is through not realizing, through not penetrating the Four Noble Truths that this long course of birth and death has been passed through and undergone by me as well as by you." What are these four? They are the noble truth of suffering, the noble truth of the origin of suffering, the noble truth of the cessation of suffering, and the noble truth of the way to the cessation of suffering. But now, bhikkhus, that these have been realized and penetrated, cut off is the craving for existence. Destroyed is that which leads to renewed becoming, and there is no fresh becoming. Thus it was said by the Blessed One. And the Happy One, the Master, further said, "Through not seeing the Four Noble Truths, long was the weary path from birth to birth. When these are known, removed is rebirth's cause. The root of sorrow plucked, and then ends rebirth." And also at Kotigama the Blessed One often gave counsel to the bhikkhus thus: "Such and such is virtue. Such and such is concentration, and such is wisdom. Great becomes the fruit, great is the gain of concentration when it is fully developed. By virtuous conduct, great becomes the fruit, great is the gain of wisdom when it is fully developed by concentration. Utterly freed from the taints of lust, becoming, and ignorance is the mind that is fully developed in wisdom." When the Blessed One had stayed at Kotigama as long as he pleased, he spoke to the Venerable Ananda, saying, "Come, Ananda, let us go to Nadika." "So be it, Lord." And the Blessed One took up his abode in Nadika together with a large community of bhikkhus, staying in the brick house. The four specific attainments. Then the Venerable Ananda approached the Blessed One and, after greeting him respectfully, sat down at one side. And he said to the Blessed One, "Here in Nadika, Lord, there have passed away the bhikkhu Salha and the bhikkhuni Nanda. Likewise there have passed away the layman Sudatta, and the laywoman Sujata, likewise the layman Kakuta, Kalinga, Nikata, Katisaba, Tuta, Santuta, Bada, and Subata. What is their destiny, Lord? What is their future state?" The bhikkhu Salha, Ananda, through the destruction of the taints in this very lifetime has attained to the taint-free deliverance of mind, and deliverance through wisdom, having directly known and realized it by himself. The bhikkhuni Nanda, Ananda, through the destruction of the five lower fetters, that bind beings to the world of the senses, has arisen spontaneously among the Suttavasa deities, and will come to final cessation in that very place, not liable to return from that world. The layman Sudatta, Ananda, through the destruction of the three fetters, self-belief, doubt, and faith in the efficacy of rituals and observances, and the lessening of lust, hatred, and delusion, has become a once-returner and is bound to make an end of suffering, after having returned but once more to this world. The laywoman Sujata, Ananda, through the destruction of the three fetters has become a stream enterer, and is safe from falling into the states of misery, assured, and bound for enlightenment. The layman Kakuta, Ananda, through the destruction of the five lower fetters, that bind beings to the world of the senses, has arisen spontaneously among the Suttavasa deities, and will come to final cessation in that very place, not liable to return from that world. So it is with Kalinga, Nikata, Katisaba, Tuta, Santuta, Bada, and Subata, and with more than 50 laymen in Nadika, more than 90 laymen, who have passed away in Nidika, Ananda, through the destruction of the three fetters, and the lessening of lust, hatred, and delusion, have become once returners and are bound to make an end of suffering after having returned but once more to this world. More than 500 laymen who have passed away in Nidika, Ananda, through the complete destruction of the three fetters have become stream enterers, and are safe from falling into the states of misery, assured, and bound for enlightenment. The mirror of the Dhamma. But truly, Ananda, it is nothing strange that human beings should die. But if each time it happens you should come to the Tathagata and ask about them in this manner, indeed it would be troublesome to him. Therefore, Ananda, I will give you the teaching called the mirror of the Dhamma, possessing which the noble disciple, should he so desire, can declare of himself, there is no more rebirth for me in hell, nor as an animal or ghost, nor in any realm of woe. A stream enterer am I, safe from falling into the states of misery, assured am I and bound for enlightenment. And what, Ananda, is that teaching called the mirror of Dhamma, possessing which the noble disciple may thus declare of himself? In this case, Ananda, the noble disciple possesses unwavering faith in the Buddha thus, the Blessed One is an Arhat, the fully enlightened one, perfect in knowledge and conduct, the happy one, the knower of the world, the paramount trainer of beings, the teacher of gods and men, the enlightened one, the Blessed One. He possesses unwavering faith in the Dhamma thus. Well propounded by the Blessed One is the Dhamma, evident, timeless, inviting investigation, leading to emancipation, to be comprehended by the wise, each for himself. He possesses unwavering faith in the Blessed One's order of disciples thus. Well-faring is the Blessed One's order of disciples, righteously, wisely, and dutifully. That is to say, the 4 pairs of men, the 8 classes of persons. The Blessed One's order of disciples is worthy of honor, of hospitality, of offerings, of veneration, the supreme field for meritorious deeds in the world. And he possesses virtues that are dear to the noble ones, complete and perfect, spotless and pure, which are liberating, praised by the wise, uninfluenced by worldly concerns, and favorable to concentration of mind. This, Ananda, is the teaching called the mirror of the Dhamma, whereby the noble disciple may thus know of himself, there is no more rebirth for me in hell, nor as an animal or ghost, nor in any realm of woe. A stream enterer am I, safe from falling into the states of misery, assured am I and bound for enlightenment. And also in Nidika, in the brick house, the Blessed One often gave counsel to the bhikkhus thus. Such and such is virtue, such and such is concentration, and such is wisdom. Great becomes the fruit, great is the gain of concentration when it is fully developed by virtuous conduct. Great becomes the fruit, great is the gain of wisdom when it is fully developed by concentration, utterly freed from the taints of lust, becoming. And ignorance is the mind that is fully developed in wisdom. When the Blessed One had stayed in Nidika as long as he pleased, he spoke to the Venerable Ananda, saying, Come, Ananda, let us go to Vesali. So be it, O Lord. And the Blessed One took up his abode in Vesali together with a large community of bhikkhus, and stayed in Ambapali's grove. Mindfulness and clear comprehension. Then the Blessed One addressed the bhikkhus, saying, Mindful should you dwell, bhikkhus, clearly comprehending, thus I exhort you. And how, bhikkhus, is a bhikkhu mindful? When he dwells contemplating the body in the body, earnestly, clearly comprehending, and mindfully. After having overcome desire and sorrow in regard to the world, and when he dwells contemplating feelings in feelings, the mind in the mind, and mental objects. In mental objects, earnestly, clearly comprehending, and mindfully. after having overcome desire and sorrow in regard to the world, then is he said to be mindful. And how, bhikkhus, does a bhikkhu have clear comprehension? When he remains fully aware of his coming and going, his looking forward and his looking away, his bending and stretching, his wearing of his robe and carrying of his bowl, his eating and drinking, masticating and savoring, his defecating and urinating, his walking, standing, sitting, lying down, going to sleep or keeping awake, his speaking or being silent, then is he said to have clear comprehension. Mindful should you dwell, bhikkhus, clearly comprehending. Thus I exhort you. Ambapali and the Lichavas. Then Ambapali the courtesan came to know. The Blessed One, they say, has arrived at Vasali and is now staying in my mango grove. And she ordered a large number of magnificent carriages to be made ready, mounted one of them herself, and accompanied by the rest, drove out from Vasali towards her park. She went by carriage as far as the carriage could go, then alighted, and approaching the Blessed One on foot, she respectfully greeted him and sat down at one side. And the Blessed One instructed Ambapali the courtesan in the Dhamma and roused, edified, and gladdened her. Thereafter Ambapali the courtesan spoke to the Blessed One, saying, May the Blessed One, O Lord, please accept my invitation for tomorrow's meal, together with the community of bhikkhus. And by his silence the Blessed One consented. Sure, then, of the Blessed One's consent, Ambapali the courtesan rose from her seat, respectfully saluted him, and keeping her right side towards him, took her departure. Then the Lichavi of Vasali came to know. The Blessed One, they say, has arrived at Vasali and is now staying in Ambapali's grove. And they ordered a large number of magnificent carriages to be made ready, each mounted one, and accompanied by the rest, drove out from Vasali. Now, of these Lichavas, some were in blue, with clothing and ornaments all of blue, while others were in yellow, red, and white. And it so happened that Ambapali the courtesan drove up against the young Lichavas, axle by axle, wheel by wheel, and yoke by yoke. Thereupon the Lichavas exclaimed, Why do you drive up against us in this fashion, Ambapali? Thus it is, indeed, my princes, and not otherwise. For the Blessed One is invited by me for tomorrow's meal, together with the community of bhikkhus. Give up the meal, Ambapali, for 100,000. But she replied, Even if you were to give me Vasali, sirs, together with its tributary lands, I would not give up a meal of such importance. Then the Lichavas snapped their fingers in annoyance. See, friends, we are defeated by this mango lass. We are utterly outdone by this mango lass. But they continued on their way to Ambapali's grove, and the Blessed One beheld the Lichavas from afar, as they drove up. Then he spoke to the bhikkhus, saying, Those of you, bhikkhus, who have not yet seen the 33 gods, may behold the assembly of the Lichavas, and may gaze on them, for they are comparable to the assembly of the 33 gods. Then the Lichavas drove their carriages as far as the carriages could go, then alighted, and approaching the Blessed One on foot, they respectfully greeted him, and sat down at one side. The Blessed One instructed the Lichavas in the Dhamma, and roused, edified, and gladdened them. Thereafter the Lichavas spoke to the Blessed One, saying, May the Blessed One, O Lord, please accept our invitation for tomorrow's meal, together with the community of bhikkhus. The invitation for tomorrow's meal, Lichavas, has been accepted by me from Ambapali the courtesan. Then the Lichavas snapped their fingers in annoyance. See, friends, we are defeated by this mango lass. We are utterly outdone by this mango lass. And then the Lichavas, approving of the Blessed One's words and delighted with them, rose from their seats, respectfully saluted him, and keeping their right sides towards him, took their departure. Then, after the night had passed, Ambapali the courtesan had choice food, hard and soft, prepared in her park, and announced it to the Blessed One. "It is time, O Lord, the meal is ready." Thereupon the Blessed One got ready in the forenoon, and taking bowl and robe, he went together with the community of bhikkhus to Ambapali's dwelling, and there he took the seat prepared for him. And Ambapali herself attended on the community of bhikkhus headed by the Buddha, and served them with choice food, hard and soft. And when the Blessed One had finished his meal and had removed his hand from his bowl, Ambapali the courtesan took a low seat, and placing herself at one side, spoke to the Blessed One, saying, "This park, O Lord, I offer to the community of bhikkhus headed by the Buddha." And the Blessed One accepted the park. He then instructed Ambapali in the Dhamma, and having roused, edified, and gladdened her, he rose from his seat and departed. And also at Vasali, in Ambapali's grove, the Blessed One often gave counsel to the bhikkhus thus: "Such and such is virtue, such and such is concentration, and such is wisdom. Great becomes the fruit, great is the gain of concentration when it is fully developed by virtuous conduct. Great becomes the fruit, great is the gain of wisdom when it is fully developed by concentration. Utterly freed from the taints of lust, becoming, and ignorance is the mind that is fully developed in wisdom." When the Blessed One had stayed in Ambapali's grove as long as he pleased, he spoke to the Venerable Ananda, saying, "Come, Ananda, let us go to the village of Baluva." "So be it, Lord." And the Blessed One took up his abode in the village of Baluva together with a large community of bhikkhus. The Blessed One's deadly sickness. At that time the Blessed One spoke to the bhikkhus, saying, "Go now, bhikkhus, and seek shelter anywhere in the neighborhood of Vasali where you are welcome, among acquaintances and friends, and there spend the rainy season. As for me, I shall spend the rainy season in this very place, in the village of Baluva." "So be it, O Lord," the bhikkhus said. But when the Blessed One had entered upon the rainy season, there arose in him a severe illness, and sharp and deadly pains came upon him. And the Blessed One endured them mindfully, clearly comprehending and unperturbed. Then it occurred to the Blessed One, "It would not be fitting if I came to my final passing away without addressing those who attended on me, without taking leave of the community of bhikkhus. Then let me suppress this illness by strength of will, resolve to maintain the life process, and live on." And the Blessed One suppressed the illness by strength of will, resolved to maintain the life process, and lived on. So it came about that the Blessed One's illness was allayed, and the Blessed One recovered from that illness. And soon after his recovery he came out from his dwelling place and sat down in the shade of the building, on a seat prepared for him. Then the Venerable Ananda approached the Blessed One, respectfully greeted him, and sitting down at one side, he spoke to the Blessed One, saying, "Fortunate it is for me, O Lord, to see the Blessed One at ease again. Fortunate it is for me, O Lord, to see the Blessed One recovered. For truly, Lord, when I saw the Blessed One's sickness it was as though my own body became weak as a creeper. Everything around became dim to me, and my senses failed me. Yet, Lord, I still had some little comfort in the thought that the Blessed One would not come to his final passing away until he had given some last instructions respecting the community of bhikkhus." Thus spoke the Venerable Ananda, but the Blessed One answered him, saying, "What more does the community of bhikkhus expect from me, Ananda? I have set forth the Dhamma without making any distinction of esoteric and exoteric doctrine. There is nothing, Ananda, with regard to the teachings, that the Tathagata holds to the last with the closed fist of a teacher who keeps some things back, whosoever may think that it is he who should lead the community of bhikkhus, or that the community depends upon him, it is such a one that would have to give last instructions respecting them. But, Ananda, the Tathagata has no such idea, as that it is he who should lead the community of bhikkhus, or that the community depends upon him. So what instructions should he have to give respecting the community of bhikkhus? Now I am frail, Ananda, old, aged, far gone in years. This is my 80th year, and my life is spent. Even as an old cart, Ananda, is held together with much difficulty, so the body of the Tathagata is kept going only with supports. It is, Ananda, only when the Tathagata, disregarding external objects, with the cessation of certain feelings, attains to and abides in the signless concentration of mind, that his body is more comfortable. Therefore, Ananda, be islands unto yourselves, refuges unto yourselves, seeking no external refuge. With the Dhamma as your island, the Dhamma as your refuge, seeking no other refuge. And how, Ananda, is a bhikkhu an island unto himself, a refuge unto himself, seeking no external refuge? With the Dhamma as his island, the Dhamma as his refuge, seeking no other refuge? When he dwells contemplating the body in the body, earnestly, clearly comprehending, and mindfully, after having overcome desire and sorrow. In regard to the world, when he dwells contemplating feelings in feelings, the mind in the mind, and mental objects in mental objects, earnestly, clearly comprehending, and mindfully, after having overcome desire and sorrow in regard to the world, then, truly, he is an island unto himself, a refuge unto himself, seeking no external refuge, having the Dhamma as his island, the Dhamma as his refuge, seeking no other refuge. Those bhikkhus of mine, Ananda, who now or after I am gone, abide as an island unto themselves, as a refuge unto themselves, seeking no other refuge. Having the Dhamma as their island and refuge, seeking no other refuge, it is they who will become the highest, if they have the desire to learn.